Part 211. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2101. Ah! My head. Master, Master. Murong Yu subconsciously called a few words Master one after another. And what surprised her was that after crying like this, her head really didn't hurt anymore. The words Master really didn't come from his original intention to say this, it was a thought that suddenly burst out in his mind, and he couldn't control this emotion at that time, and then this emotion disappeared. Then it exploded. It is probably such a process and feeling. Now thinking about it in my heart, the trembling of my lips also increased. Murong Yu stared at Fang Fan in horror, as if Fang Fan was some kind of terrifying existence at the moment. Her steps trembled slightly, and the thoughts in her mind had completely exploded. Although she doesn't want to admit this fact, but all of this is true, she is controlled by Fang Fan. Not only the physical body, but also the direct control of the spirit. Can I talk now? You know what's going to happen if the little slave girl doesn't listen. Scheme pretended to take out a long whip, and while talking, he waved it in the air. Murong Yu took a deep breath, although he really wanted to resist, but felt a sense of powerlessness. He is also a member of the First-Class Temple of the Light Alliance, the Deputy Second-Rank Cardinal of the First-Class Temple of the Alliance of Light, and the instructor of the Academy of Light. He has been pestering me before, wanting me to be his partner, but I never promised him. I didn't expect him to be so mad this time. His name is Zhou Yan, and he has red hair, which is easy to identify. I will never let him go back to Guangming Academy this time. If it wasn't for this bastard, I wouldn't be in deep trouble. While talking, Murong Yu glared in Fang Fan's direction angrily, looking very wronged. Fang Fan smiled indifferently, and secretly wrote it down in his heart. Seeing Murong Yu's expression of wanting to get angry but not daring to get angry, he felt inexplicably happy. Fang Fan stepped forward and silently opened the door a gap. At this moment, he could clearly hear the noises outside, most of which were discussing the matters between him and Murong Yu. It's been almost a day and a night, my god, this is too much to let go. Yeah, it didn't show up all day and night, damn, we're squatting outside here like pugs, and they're in the Dragon and Phoenix. That Fang Fan from Qingtian Sanctuary is really cool, he hugged Master Murong's thigh and took off directly. Hey, not only that, Master Murong is so beautiful, and has such a good figure, grass. Thinking of this, I feel like a good cabbage was crushed by a pig beast. Hee, I can keep fighting for a day and a night, can you? Can you make that Murong Hong II Archbishop submit? That Fang Fan also has special skills, okay. Tisk tisk tisk, if you really can persist all day and night without stopping, you must be a boss. A character at the peak of a boss. Strong. Too strong. Among other things, I am very convinced on this point. Big Brother Fang Fan is awesome. In the future, learn more experience from that Big Brother Fang Fan. Don't just think about burying others and slandering others. This is a hammer? In the end, you are still a fool? We are going to Guangming Academy to participate in the admissions assessment, will we succeed? Not necessarily, but they are good, even the tutors of Guangming Academy have taken care of it. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2102. There are endless noises, from their various words, they can actually hear some jealousy. Who wouldn't want to have such a legendary experience? This is an awesome qualification to take out. Among the crowd, Jingzhan, the godson of the Light Alliance Temple in the Qingtian Sanctuary, showed infinite jealousy on his face. Apart from jealousy, there was also panic. Fang Fan himself is already this strong, if if there is Murong Yu backing him up, wouldn't he be able to turn the world upside down? And he actually tried to offend Fang Fan before. Thinking of this, a sense of panic surged in his heart instantly, and the cold color on his forehead was vividly displayed at this moment. In the mind, this feeling is more real. The little slave girl Xueling who was standing on the side had already raised her mouth very high, while idly beating on the seat, and glanced at the door of the first-class cabin from time to time. There are so many wives, yet they still covet Master Murong's beauty. Mother is right, there is nothing good about a man. Except my father. The little slave girl Xueling thought about it seriously, and suddenly her silent eyes widened. The door of the first-class cabin was opened. One in front and one behind, two figures came out. The first one to be full of happiness is naturally Fang Fan. The other one with a grim expression was none other than Murong Yu, the first-class archbishop in red at the Temple of the Alliance of Light, whom they had passed on by word of mouth. At this moment, the expressions on everyone's faces changed more or less slightly, and everyone's eyes focused on this moment. Facts have proved that everyone has a gossip. Have you noticed, Master Murong's walking posture is a bit strange, as if he was injured. SHHH, you're a melon, right? It's the first time a woman is like this. Besides, it's really a day and a night, isn't it right to get hurt a little? You, what do you mean? Why can't I understand? Quoi was it? Just find a wife and find out. Damn it, it seems that our previous nonsense words are true. Damn it. This is too exciting, I always think it's just bullshit. Hee, the ghost knows what happened, anyway, it's so weird, there's really no way, let's make do with it first, hold on for a while. In the future, I will be more careful with my tricks, and when I see Fang Fan, he will take a detour. Damn it, I now know why the young master of Qiyao Pavilion was killed by Mr. Murong. Did he die because he told the truth? Let's not talk about it, that guy is a pippy shrimp. This kind of thing, God knows, you know, I know, just know it yourself, and why do you say it? His head is too hard, there is no way, there is really no way. In front of Lord Murong, don't even mention this kind of thing. Hey, look at the appearance of that big brother Fang Fan and Lord Murong, the big brother Fang Fan has completely conquered everything. Gossip is spreading throughout the battleship. Murong Yu's face turned blue and white, and now he even had the urge to vomit blood. She is really too difficult. If such rumors are allowed to spread like this, her reputation will be completely ruined. Have to find an excuse. Even if this excuse is crude, it is still a kind of rhetoric. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Xu Yu. Chapter 2103. When the deity and Fang Fan were in the room, they were attacked by foreign enemies. In order to protect the safety of the entire battleship, the deity defeated the foreign enemies, but I also suffered some injuries. I would like to thank Fang Fan for healing me all day and night. My injury is not healed, everyone must be careful, if you encounter any risk, evacuate immediately. Murong Yu took a deep breath, and then said confidently and unreasonably. Hearing Murong Yu's sophistry, Fang Fan inexplicably wanted to laugh out loud. This woman is really interesting. This wave after wave, do you really think others will believe it? Can you stop being so fake? But there is a reason, the face is always better. Murong Yu looked at Fang Fan with hints in his eyes. In fact, he wanted Fang Fan to confirm it for her, or at least to fool this matter. Fang Fan held his head high and held his chest high, with an air of indifference. Murong Yu hated it, but Fang Fan really felt helpless. She can't coerce Fang Fan in public, and more importantly, even if she wants to coerce, she can't coerce, she is now fully controlled by Fang Fan. Hey! You, tell me quickly. Help me prove it. Otherwise it will make people suspicious. Murong Yu secretly walked up to Fang Fan's side, and then followed with gritted teeth. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then curled his lips. Does this still require others to be suspicious? It is clearly full of flaws. I don't say hello. Now you're disobedient again. Fang Fan stared at Murong Yu's words, and then spoke. From time to time, this kind of little slave girl just wants to make indirect remarks, otherwise she really doesn't know her identity. Can some things be handled by you? Isn't this completely nonsense? Murong Yu gritted his red molars tightly, full of resentment and anger with nowhere to vent. And in front of the public, she can only choose to endure. Master, please help me, Master. Murong Yu yelled softly a few times. Fang Fan took a deep breath, quite enjoying himself. The voice was too disturbing. He just loves it. Inexplicably felt a burst of transparency. I didn't do anything with Archbishop Murong Hong I in the room all day and night, I just helped Archbishop Murong Hong I heal a wave of injuries. What Archbishop Murong Hong I said is true. Everyone must believe it. Fang Fan looked at the crowd, and then said very sincerely. The whole venue fell into a burst of silence, and then there was an even more explosive noise. Ha 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 ha, don't talk about it, can you? I can die laughing. Ha ha ha. This Fang Fan boss is too upright. He didn't do anything in the room all day and night? Is this place without 300 taels of silver? Damn, at first I still had doubts, but now all my doubts are completely blown up. I still have doubts with a hammer. Everything collapsed. Damn it, if you go on like this, you will lose your mentality. Hey, sad and deplorable. My goddess, ruined just like that. Yekingja. Boss Fang Fan is really a winner in life. Too strong. Envy, hate, if I can have a life experience like Fang Fan's, I can save my life for thousands of years. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2104. In fact, everyone's thoughts are very simple, that's all. If you can be envied by 10,000 people at the same time, it means that you are living quite successfully. Murong Yu was completely speechless at the moment. She felt that Fang Fan did it on purpose. To embarrass her on purpose. She glared at Fang Fan fiercely, and then scanned the bottom with her sharp eyes. Shut up for me. This matter is over. Fang Fan has also confirmed it. If I hear anyone chatting recklessly about this matter again in the future, don't blame me for not being sympathetic. Boom. While Murong Yu was talking, he immediately put his palm on the seat beside him, and several seats in a row were instantly shattered. The seat that can be placed in this large flying battleship is naturally extraordinary and very hard, and the General Sanctuary Realm powerhouse can't damage it at all. But Murong Yu was able to shatter it, and this explosive combat power horrified everyone. At this moment, everyone began to tremble inexplicably. Silence, long silence. Everyone began to communicate with each other with their eyes, but naturally they didn't dare to make the slightest sound on the surface. Murong Yu suppressed these words with such urgency, on the contrary, it made these people feel even more surprised, and even confirmed the speculations in their hearts. Fang Fan shrugged and walked back to his seat silently. In fact, the facts have come to this point, and all explanations are in vain, because the relevant tone has been set at the beginning. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, exhaled silently, then shrugged his shoulders helplessly. Instead of hiding it, he just lived a more carefree life. On this road of gradually becoming stronger, he is destined to suffer the envy, and hatred of countless people. Ling come here and massage my forehead, I'm a little tired. Fang Fan subconsciously beckoned to the little slave girl Xueling, and then made a gesture to lie on Xueling's lap. I have used 2 Holy Yang cards in succession before. Although the combat power has always been very strong, it still hurts a little bit of the source, and this moment is the later period of weakness. All of a sudden, fatigue hits me. Boom. The soft big white legs that Fang Fan imagined were gone, and Fang Fan hit his head directly on the stiff seat. Fang Fan's face darkened, and he saw the little girl Xueling pouting beside her, her face full of arrogance. Humph. Mother said, don't let me play with fools. Especially the kind of philandering idiot. Xueling said solemnly, her big eyeballs still flickering. Fang Fan. Where does this follow? Does this have something to do with him? Wave after wave, what kind of trouble do you want to make? The little slave girls are starting to rebel? Who is a fool? Come here. Give me a massage. Fang Fan curled his lips, his thoughts moved slightly, and he directly forcibly pulled Xueling over. This little girl, can't heal you anymore? I can float you. Lying on Xueling's soft legs, Fang Fan was silently lost in thought. He suddenly thought that the effect of the number 2 female slave position can increase his combat power by 1 level, so, will this combat power increase effect be superimposed on all heroes? Fang Fan looked at the heroes, and then made a comprehensive inspection, and finally showed a look of disappointment on his face. Facts have proved that he is indeed thinking too much. The superimposed effect of this combat power should be the same as the divine skill rage of the Rage God. It's just a simple increase in combat power, not an increase in level. So the heroes will not benefit from it. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Xu Yu. Chapter 2105. The large flying battleship continues to fly. This kind of large flying warship is not only huge, but its flying speed is also dozens of times faster than the small flying warship that Fang Fan has experienced before. After continuing to fly for about 7 or 8 days, he had already entered the sanctuary of the sky. Immediately after another day, they arrived at the Guangming Academy in the sanctuary of the firmament, which was also the destination of their trip. The first time he stepped off the flying battleship, Fang Fan only felt his eyes light up, his eyes suddenly flickered, and various thoughts gathered in his mind. The huge scale of Guangming Academy made him feel subconsciously gasping. The entire Guangming Academy is actually suspended in the sky. There is no physical support below. Fang Fan murmured to himself, and while talking, he couldn't help nodding his head silently. The surprise on his face was very real. The entire Guangming Academy is actually built from a super large flying battleship. Support with special energy so that it will not fall for thousands of years. Around the suspended Guangming Academy, there are all kinds of large-scale star core cannons hidden. Even those supreme powerhouses in the demigod realm can only look at the ocean and sigh. Murong Yu, the third-grade red-clothed archbishop of the first-class Bright Alliance Temple and the tutor of the Bright Academy, was speaking, and his eyes became more and more silent. With one word, he briefly introduced Guangming Academy. This Guangming Academy even has the ability to attack the powerful demigod realm. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes silently, flashes of light flickered in his mind. The so-called demigods are actually existences stronger than the Saint Venerable realm. 9-star sanctuary cultivators are called saints, and there are detailed divisions. And 10-star sanctuary realm cultivators are called demigods. Although it is not a real god, it can already be called a half-god. To be able to open a related demi-temple in one's own capacity, to enjoy part of the incense offerings from believers, and even to use the power of faith to practice and attack, is naturally extraordinary. The large flying warship that Fang Fan and others were riding on was directly parked in the battleship field of Guangming Academy, and a glance at the past showed that there were countless battleships here, inexplicably giving people a sense of shock from the heart. It's still a few days before the Guangming Academy's admissions assessment. You can use your identity tokens to live in the student dormitories arranged by the academy. Using each sanctuary as the basic unit, gather together. Walk to the right from the exit of the battleship field for 10 minutes, and there will be relevant signs and the staff of the school leading you into the student dormitory. Okay, the next thing, you decide on your own. I will come to you again on the day of the admissions assessment. While talking, Mirongyu glanced around, especially when he caught a glimpse of Fang Fan's location. He trembled inexplicably. Finally able to escape this guy's clutches. She had already made up her mind that when she returned to the school, she would find an excuse to reject this job, and then keep a distance from Fang Fan, hiding far away. She didn't want to be humiliated by Fang Fan again. Thinking of this, Mirongyu inexplicably felt a lot more comfortable in his heart, and finally found a suitable excuse. It was really not easy. Seeing Mirongyu's obviously relieved look, Fang Fan curled his lips silently. He could still see a thing or two about Mirongyu's little thought. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2106. Lord Mirong, I still hope to return soon. After all, some things cannot be avoided. Fang Fan smiled indifferently, and then stepped forward, his eyes shining brightly. Immediately, a wave of sound transmission passed, and the corners of his mouth suddenly rose. Mirongyu looked pale, then turned his head, and strode away. From one side of the academy, he flew directly to the other, but Fang Fan's figure kept appearing in the sea of consciousness. There is a crazy submissive idea. The control ability of the female slave system is naturally extremely strong. Especially at a time like this, it's not so unreliable. Mirongyu took a deep breath, clenched his hands into fists, all kinds of thoughts gathered in his mind, and the feeling suddenly became real. Could it be that I can only be bullied by that bastard in my life? Would it be impossible to escape his palm forever? Why did it become like this? I cannot be reconciled. It shouldn't be like this. How did I become his slave girl? Mirongyu's lips trembled, tears suddenly filled his eyes at this moment. In addition to the sense of sadness at this moment, there is even a sense of security. Why when I think of him, I feel like I have a backer and a support. What sense of security can he bring me? A supreme quasi-sage, not even in the sanctuary realm. I must have had a problem recently. Why are there so many unrealistic ideas? Mirongyu took a deep breath, thinking in her heart, then shook her head violently, although she wanted to try her best to ask Fang Fan to be in her heart, but the more she was like this, the more she thought about it. Bright Academy, student dormitory. Even if it's just a dormitory area, it's huge. A total of 2,000 talented practitioners from Qingtian Sanctuary participated in the admissions assessment. At this moment, they gathered together according to the regulations, mainly divided into 1,000 people belonging to the Temple of the Light Alliance, 1,000 people from Genji Shenzone, and several second-rank forces. The current team leader of Genji Shenzone is Huangfu Suiai, who had some dealings with Fang Fan before. As for the Alliance of Light and the Temple, there was still a son of God, Jingzhan, who had been yelling all the time, but after seeing Fang Fan's methods at this moment, he immediately followed him and completely surrendered behind Fang Fan, not daring to say more. Fang Fan is the leader, with the soldiers of the 9 major legions except the Judgment Unicorn Sacred Beast Legion, plus a few heroes. This is the current elite lineup under Fang Fan's command. Director Fang Fan, I also hope that you can take care of our Genji Shenzong examiners for the sake of our fellow members of the Qingtian Sanctuary. Fu Sui, the goddess of the third peak of Genji Shenzong, was speaking and then stepped forward eagerly, expressing her attitude. As we all know, now that Fang Fan has even taken care of Mr. Murong Yu, he has basically obtained the quota of students entering the Temple of the Light Alliance, and his future is limitless. So at this moment, it seemed normal for Huangfu Sui to come here to pray for help. Priest Huangfu. It's just a little boy who relies on a woman for his position. How can everyone be so respectful to him? He is nothing more than a top quasi-sage. We have several top quasi-sages in Genji Shenzong. In the crowd of the Yi Shenzong, a young man said uncomfortably with a dark face. The resentment seemed extremely deep during the speech. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2107. Shamanchuo. Shut up. In front of Director Fang Fan, do you have the right to speak? Before leaving, the suzerain handed over the right to lead the team to me. How dare you disobey the order? Huangfu Shui snorted coldly, her eyes became sharper, and then she glared viciously at Shamanchuo's words. The Shamanchuo who spoke rudely just now is actually the first peak godson of Genji Shenzong. He thinks he is the first peak godson of the main peak, so he seems a bit unreasonable. But the suzerain didn't give him the position of team leader, so he was naturally very unhappy in his heart. Showing such an attitude and expression at this moment can only be said to be a manifestation of incompetence and rage. Director Fang Fan, I'm sorry, this is not our original intention of Genji Shenzong, please be aware. Huangfu Sui took a deep breath, and hurriedly came over to apologize, for fear that Fang Fan would be angry with them because of this. I'm not interested in your Genji Shenzong, as long as you don't come here to provoke me. Fang Fan glanced over indifferently, looking extremely indifferent, and then strode out, ready to enter the student dormitory of Guangming Academy to take a good rest. It was too crazy to toss with Murong Yu in the small world of Shushan Pavilion before, until now Fang Fan still has a sense of weakness. This holy grade immortality card is certainly good, but who can resist using two cards in succession? Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air, and then his thoughts moved slightly, preparing to walk into the dormitory. Fang Fan boy, that girl was on time just now. According to your temperament, shouldn't you accept this kind of delivery at the door immediately? Bai Biao stretched, then rolled down from the back of Pixiu, and complained. Fang Fan has 5 great pets under his command, the hell 3-headed dog roaring to the sky, the Dark Knight Unicorn Dark Knight, the Kunpeng Baiming, the little golden dragon Ao Guang, and this newly acquired beast. The attitudes of the other 4 divine pets towards Bai Biao are basically the same, that is, full blow and roar. But the relationship between this mythical beast and Bai Biao is extremely close. It can only be said that the smell is similar. These 2 guys will sneak out to do things from time to time, and the mythical beast is responsible for devouring everything. As for Bai Biao, it is responsible for stepping on the field. These 2 guys had a great time working together. Am I the casual kind? I am very specific about feelings. Fang Fan glanced around, subconsciously rubbed the hair of the little slave Xueling, and then said confidently. Fang Fan, it's okay to pretend in front of others, but let's tell the truth in front of my envoy, shall we? I still don't know who you are. Since I've known you, you've never lacked a woman by your side. I've been wondering, you're not as handsome as I am, and your fighting ability is not as strong as mine. Why are those women interested in you? I didn't know it before, but now, I finally understand it. Because I'm shameless without you. During Bai Biao's speech, he nodded along with righteous words. The mythical Pixiu on the side also nodded repeatedly, expressing their approval. When these two guys sang together, it was clear that they were here to trick Fang Fan. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and a slight smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. These two guys really don't let up for a moment, and they have to fix something for you every minute before they are reconciled. Personal attacks now. In terms of shamelessness, who in the world can compare with Bai Piao? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2108. Walking into the student dormitory, countless people have already gathered inside. Although each sanctuary is handled as a whole, there are hundreds of third-class sanctuaries alone. As for the second-class sanctuary, although there are only 9, their staffing is more complicated, and the scene will become more chaotic. Sacred Sky Sanctuary. It belongs to the 7th floor of Building No. 3. Where are the cultivators in the Sky Sanctuary? The shouts of the staff of Guangming Academy could be heard, and Fang Fan strode forward, ready to take orders. And at this moment, many people around cast envious and jealous eyes. Hey! Those cultivators in the heavenly sanctuary are really lucky. The number 3 dormitory building is where the students from the inner palace used to live. It is said that the aura in it is 10 times stronger than that of ordinary dormitory buildings. 10 times. My God, this is too cool. Damn it, I'm envious and jealous. Yeah, that's the truth. Ordinary second-class sanctuary practitioners don't have this kind of treatment. No, generally speaking, third-class sanctuary practitioners have no chance to enter this level of dormitory building. Is there something wrong with it? Wait, didn't everyone say that the ordering of the dormitory buildings is random? They are lucky in Qingtian Sanctuary? What's so strange? It stands to reason that the third-class sanctuary practitioners and the second-class sanctuary practitioners snatch the inside. The chances are the same for all student dormitories in the government, right? Hee, you are still too young. You actually believe that the probability will be the same? Ridiculous. Really ridiculous. If the probability is really the same, then it is really strange. Let me tell you the truth. The doorway here is great. Those second-class sanctuaries are more or less related to the Guangming Academy. Besides, the staff of the Guangming Academy are all monkey spirits. They will use this kind of good dormitories are assigned to third-class sanctuary practitioners. Don't even think about it. This time, there may be some deviation in some steps. Anyway, the practitioners in Qingtian Sanctuary are very lucky. It's so cool. Voices of yelling came one after another, and words of envy and jealousy were heard endlessly. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows and couldn't help showing a slight smile at the corner of his mouth. He didn't expect the doorway here to be so big. This wave after wave is really interesting. Etc. Just as Fang Fan stepped forward to get the proof of the relevant dormitory, a cold voice came from a distance. Fang Fan raised his eyes, and his eyes gradually turned away. The dormitory on the 7th floor of building number 3, we, KD Sanctuary, want it? This time, we, KD Sanctuary, will give you lower third-class sanctuary a chance. Give up the elite dormitory, and we, KD Sanctuary, will protect you from now on. This mentor, do you think it's okay? The young man from KD Sanctuary who came from a distance was talking, and then directly asked the instructor who belonged to the dormitory, and there was no respect at all after his words. The instructor who belonged to the dormitory frowned subconsciously, and in the end seemed to be afraid of something, and fell silent again. No one is willing to deliberately find trouble for themselves, and KD's Sanctuary has an unusual status. It's KD Sanctuary, and KD Sanctuary is one of the 9 second-class sanctuaries. Hee, that's interesting. This Qingtian Sanctuary is really unlucky. I got lucky and got the elite dormitory, but I didn't expect it to be snatched away before the heat. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2109. The babble continued. Fang Fan remained as still as a mountain, and then indifferently took the relevant certificate from the tutor in charge of the dormitory. Then he turned around and strode around in the crowd, not taking this young man from Katie's sanctuary at all seriously. Godson Kaoch, if people don't want it, forget it, our sisters in the 100 Flowers sanctuary live in the same place. At this moment, a weak woman walked up to the ear of the young man in Katie's sanctuary, and said very gently. At this moment, everyone's eyes are focused here, and they probably have analyzed the situation to the point. As one of the 9 second-class sanctuaries, Katie's sanctuary naturally belongs to the elite dormitory, there is no doubt about it. As for the reason why the godson of Katie's sanctuary wants to seize the elite dormitory of Qingtian sanctuary, in fact, he wants to borrow flowers to offer Buddha, and wants to turn his pen in front of the beauty. The 100 Flowers sanctuary is also one of the third-class sanctuaries. For some reason, she hooked up with Katie's sanctuary godson. Hey! I know this Chao Ji, one of the gods of the second-class sanctuary Katie's sanctuary Light Alliance Temple. It is said that he is still a 2-star sanctuary realm existence, and he can basically become an inner school student of the Guangming Academy. Unlimited. Tisk 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 tisk. Het. It's useless to be envious and jealous, and it has nothing to do with us. Let's just hang on to ourselves first. It's true, it's just that I feel a little uncomfortable. Why do people have beautiful women by their side? Look at those female practitioners in the 100 Flowers sanctuary, one by one. It's like 100 flowers are in full bloom. They should all be from the Beiwa Palace in the 100 Flowers sanctuary. It is said that all the people in this Beiwa Palace are women. He, good at seductive, take it easy. There were endless shouts from the surroundings, almost showing his identity completely. Fang Fan didn't take it seriously, even if he was a cultivator from the first-class sanctuary. What did it have to do with him? As long as it doesn't involve him, it's fine. Katie Sanyushenza suddenly frowned, with a look of dark hatred on her face. He went out in person, but Fang Fan ignored him. This is clearly not paying attention to him. Can this be tolerated? The mentality jumped in minutes. The eyeballs rolled up, and then strode out. Holy Maiden of 100 Flowers, don't worry, since I promised you, if I want to find a better dormitory for you in Beiwa Palace, I will naturally be responsible to the end. A mere third-class sanctuary dares to be arrogant in front of the Son of God. You really can't control yourself. You, get out of here. My Son of God talked to you, didn't you hear? Suddenly there was a roaring sound from behind, and Fang Fan suddenly felt a force behind him also dragging him. He turned his head, and saw that Katie's sanctuary was staring at him with a sneer on his face. Roll. Fang Fan gave a cold shout, his eyes flickered with murderous intent, and he had already shown his posture to the fullest. This is the aggrieved place where the power is weak. Even if you don't do things, there will always be some messy things that will provoke you, and you will not tire of it. Fang Fan clenched his fists tightly, his eyes flickering with murderous intent. You let me go away. Yeah. I didn't expect there to be such a bold lunatic like you in that lower third-class sanctuary. With the existence of the lower third-class sanctuary like you, it is impossible for any inner court students to show up. Don't you feel ashamed to live in the dormitory of the inner court students? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2110. Katie Sanyushenzakeo's expression became more and more distorted as she spoke, and she was about to attack Fang Fan, but halfway through the attack, her expression flickered, as if she had thought of something. If you don't have the guts to make trouble, get out of here early. I don't have so much free time to toss with you here. Fang Fan showed a sneer on his face. The godson of the second-class sanctuary Katie Sanctuary naturally wanted to save face in front of the beauty, but at the same time, he also took into account that this is the Guangming Academy. Once he acts too aggressively, he is very likely to be punished, and even disqualified from participating in the assessment. In that case, since then, I have lost the opportunity to enter Guangming Academy for further study. After all, Guangming Academy only recruits students once every 10,000 years. But hearing Fang Fan's words, how could he hold back? Young people are hot-blooded and generally can't stand this kind of excitement. The mentality expands every minute. There was an expected smile on the corner of Fang Fan's mouth. At Guangming Academy, he couldn't do it first. The first thing to do is the melon skin. But after this idiot does it himself, if he fights back, there will be no problem at all. This is called self-defense. Seeing that Katie Sanctuary Shenzakeo's attack had arrived, Fang Fan smiled silently, then hummed softly, and directly activated the shared magic skill of the gods and servants of the wild gods, mobilizing the power of a hero. At this moment, he instantly possesses combat power beyond the 3-star sanctuary realm. When the fist of Kaoch, the godson of Katie Sanctuary, reached him, Fang Fan grabbed his fist again, and then spun it lightly. Click. Click click click. The sound of bone explosions came. Ah. Ah. My hand, you let go, let go. Katie Sanctuary shivered her lips towards the song, with cold streaks flickering on her forehead. Fang Fan remained indifferent from beginning to end, then licked his lips, and then spun this Katie Sanctuary's fist round and round. A series of bone stubbles are revealed little by little along with flesh and blood meridians. Fang Fan abruptly used strong force to spin the fist of Katie Sanyushenzakeoch from his arm. Then he put it in his hand and played with it, then threw it far away. The scene exploded instantly. Boom! Everyone's eyes gathered here, and they were completely stunned. This perfect counterattack and operation is simply not too strong. Gives people a sense of endless terror in consciousness. At the same time, her lips trembled, and she fell into endless panic. As for those gorgeous women in the 100 Flowers Sanctuary's 100 Flowers Palace, their beauty has already paled at this moment, and they frantically retreated towards the surrounding area. You dare to hurt me. You ant from the lower third-class sanctuary. I'm going to abolish you today. Katie Sanyushenzakeo's forehead was covered with cold sweat, and the color of pain lingered in his heart, but he was still unwilling to calm down, and even stretched out his other hand to attack Fang Fan while speaking. Fang Fan chuckled, then took out the Zhantian sword naturally, and cut off his other palm precisely in front of everyone. Quiet, indifferently quiet. Soon, the noisy sounds can be heard endlessly. Are they all blind? People from the sanctuary of Katie. Me. Kill him. Revenge me. Katie Sanyushenza yelled crazily, her lips trembling towards the song.